everybody, one Wiisdom here. It is Saturday the 18th, 3:40 in the morning. And what we've got going on, we have started our quest to unbox everything. We did the Switch last night, the Pro Controller, the strategy guide, Breath of the Wild game case, all that good stuff. Which reminds me, I don't have my tracker turned on for Breath of the Wild. Need to do that. What I want to do though, I also then streamed for close to 4 hours Skylanders Imaginators. We needed Graveclawber Soul Gem and Dragon Temple. I ran through Dragon Temple twice. Be on the lookout for that. You kind of have to. There's 2 points, forks in the road, if you will, quite literally. And obviously 2 of them count as areas, and you have to replay the level. So we did that. We also took on the quests afterwards, kind of an in-between chapter thing. So that should be the next gameplay you see. But for Saturday, I wanted to go ahead and treat you to this stuff. I've got all these cool Breath of the Wild amiibo to open, and I think we're going to go ahead and stick to our guns here and take care of the Skylanders first. I've got to say, the box arts here, very, very cool. In addition to the fact that it's colorful, it's pastel, it's bright, it's springtime, it's Easter type of a vibe. Note, kind of like we've seen in the past, sort of the, you know, I don't even know, is it chevron or striped pattern? Basically, it looks like an egg, okay, you would decorate. So that is very cool. Front packaging does the same thing here. They're basically, you know, they're touting them as spring edition, if you will, but if you come down here, Egg Bomber Airstrike, Fight and Flight. He is Air Element, he is a brawler. He is going to allow us to take top path here, bottom path here, whatever we decide to do. It's going to be awesome. We've got both of them active. We don't have to reset the characters. We don't have to also go back and do the Sensei Shrine for the Sky Chi ability, which that is the most annoying aspect of Imaginators in my opinion. These were not sent out to me. These were picked up at Toys R Us. $15.99 is their price, but currently, if you follow me on Twitter, you know this, $15.99, buy one, get one, 50%. So that is the time to strike. It works great because with Hard-Boiled Flare Wolf, you basically get the second one for $8. If you consider him 16, he's 8, 2 for 24, $12 a piece. Not a bad deal in today's era. So there's our inset artwork. We've got Sensei Skylanders unleash almighty Sky Chi powers, unlock unique gear and weapons for your Imaginator Skylanders. Note, Skylanders Academy now streaming. They've kind of updated that. 30 plus to collect, including some other Wave 4s. Master Flare Wolf, Graveclawber, Master Buckshot. You can see a couple of crystals there. And of course, Bad Juju. So, Cursed Tiki Temple is a subject of concern for a lot of people. We were supposed to have it already along with, of course, Wildstorm, who, if you recall, just as I announced in SSA that Warnado was my most anticipated character, I said Wildstorm was probably my most anticipated Skylander. I'm holding true to that. I'm very, very excited to unbox that, get him in hand. The chest kind of looks cool too. And if you're like, whoa, 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 what are you talking about? How do you know about this? It's out in the UK, my friends, so it's not a deal where it's like, oh, it's just not going to happen. They're bailing on us. Be patient, it'll come. There's probably like a shipment delay or production issue or some slowdown of some sorts, but this packaging is so good on Imaginators. Very nice blue color here. It's a darker blue, so it pops. This is even more egg-like, and it actually ties in quite nicely with the color scheme of standard Airstrike, if you will. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Now, the catch with Airstrike, if you're like, wait, hey, you know, I've got a bunch of Skylanders, I've been buying them, but I don't have Airstrike. Why is that? Airstrike is somebody that is available in his standard form only in his adventure pack, which is Gryphon Park Observatory, which I've unboxed. That was a very cool background story there, at least in my take. And that would be incentive to get him. And then, of course, if you love Airstrike, here you go. You got both paths active with an Alt-Deco, meaning you don't have to reset. Everything is right in the world. And if there is a Skylander 7, which I do hope there is, I seriously think Skylander Tutor or some means similar, switching the paths once you've bought them both, needs to become standard. Point blank. Not that I don't like having this option, but it needs to be standard. Then if it's a case where you've got the standard and the Alt-Deco, have them set to your preferred paths, and at the drop of a hat, or literally the switch of a Skylander, you're ready to go. That said, I always like to pay attention to what is being held by the plastic. Obviously, we want to be very mindful of the feathers here. So let's just start with the twist. Okay, so the bird's really not an issue. I was thinking, man, I'm going to break that. But it's mainly just the arms. That's just kind of cradling it. There's no like physical squeeze or contact there. So. There we go. That is probably the toughest Skylander I've unboxed in quite some time. That said, he is in a very unique position, has a lot to maintain. Let's start here at the bottom. No yellow text, only white. Air Element and Activision logo. There is the Brawler. He is on a silvery... Battery has died. He's on a silvery blue base, but it seems to be a little bit more silver than... I don't know. I think it's a little bit lighter than standard Airstrike. I don't know if it's the pastels playing tricks on my eyes or something. Very, very similar, but I do feel like it's a slight tone change. I could be mistaken, of course. I would love to have Wildstorm to compare here. We will do that shortly. Now, the big thing, you hear that? My standard Airstrikes always had something rattling around in it. This guy doesn't. Awesome. Many of you are like, hey, mine does that too. This one doesn't. So if that annoyed you, here you go. We'll set him back down for now. Check this out, though. We got the Brawler. We got the base color. I will say, if you go to Skylanders.com, the base is more of like a sky blue. Kind of more of like his suit color. So that's an interesting deviation there. What we've got is pastel Easter color. So the blue Zephyr Falcon, if I'm remembering my terminology correctly, it has sort of traded out for like a... what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of like a, well, it's pastel purple, sort of a flat, kind of like you would have seen on like Asian dudes, you know, doing out their Integras in the early 2000s, right? If that helps anyone, maybe a few of you. But it's sort of just like a purpley pastel. I don't really know what else to describe it as, but darker here, lighter here, that's about it. Eyes on the Falcon are yellow, sort of the exact same color as the beak, actually. That, of course, is carried over to his eyes. He's got darker blue pupils, which they were black on the standard figure. Gold belt for the Sensei. His sort of aviator collar jacket is in fact a darker purple. This is more of like a pinata purple. It sort of grabs from this, but where this is a flat color, this kind of has more of a little bit of a gloss to it. So that is matched by his fingers or the tips of his falconer gloves or whatever they may be, which is a nice purple. We've got the blue here. This is tough to pick up on, but you'll be like, hey, you know, what's going on with this helmet? This circular, like the narrow circle, that's like a sky blue. This is sort of a green. Let me see if I can, an Easter green. You can sort of see it better in the dark right there. It's almost like we've got an eye looking at us from his helmet, which is sort of cool, kind of space age. You've got the same tonal changes right here on the helmet. This is all green just with a parting line. Same thing over here. Got the circle, and then the sort of arrows, if you will, or the motion or launch pads, whatever you want to call it. Those are blue, just inset and cut out, which is a nice change of pace. Coming around here to the back side, his headgear, whatever you want to call it, it is adapted the same sort of pastel sky blue color. And that's about it, man. That's about all we can go into there. He's got sort of the same facial hair, same coloration. It looks a bit more grayscale here. The falconer glove sort of ties in with this green on the helmet, so that's cool. Tassel. Oh, never mind. It rattles too. I noticed these... Yeah, it rattles. I noticed the bases didn't really set flush. I guess it's the tabs on them, the little four crossovers, but that's kind of annoying, I've got to say. Something that's not annoying, we have got to introduce this guy because iPad, seriously, freaking A. His stats are superior. This is going from Skylanders.com, going by what would be the card stats that we no longer get. Power 190 out of 350, that is the same. Defense or armor, 300 out of 350. That is an increase over standard. Speed and agility, maxed, 350 out of 350. That's insane if it holds true and carries over to the game. So we've got that going for us. That's also increased. Luck, 160 out of 350. I want to say that is the same. His slogan, again, if you didn't catch it at the unboxing, let's go ahead. Fight and flight. But how does he say it?
Fight and flight.
One more time.
Fight and flight.
Excellent. So, this is another thing I wish with the Alt-Decos. Darks, Legendaries, Enchanteds, Nitros, Spring Editions, whatever it may be. I wish we had a special background story. I don't think that's the case here. I'm about to read it for the first time. But before he began training brawlers, dun 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 dun, focus, there we go. Airstrike trained birds, especially the rare Blue Zephyr Falcons. Again, keep in mind it's more color accurate on the standard figure. But they were once one of Skyland's most endangered species, but Airstrike taught them how to defend themselves from predators, and of course, not to fly into windows. Birds would come from all over Skylands to learn his proven techniques, but despite their new defensive skills, the Blue Zephyr Falcons continued to be hunted by a band of evil trolls who liked to use their eggs in blue bacon omelets. So it was time for Airstrike to strike back. He journeyed to the peak of the Zephyr Mountain and single-handedly took down the trolls, rescuing the stolen eggs. After returning them to their mother, one of the eggs hatched, revealing a very energetic falcon that would not leave his side. Airstrike named him Birdie, and together they now use their skills to train Skylanders, despite Master Eon's crippling fear of falcons. So, very cool story, even if it was just, you know, hey, Pop Fizz threw a potion, it hit Airstrike, it stained him at the Easter Festival. Just like a minor add-in like that would be appreciated, but hey, if you're a big fan of Airstrike, which I think some people are, he wouldn't really ever super hype. You know, tons and tons of chatter. Probably in part because he's sort of like price locked behind things with the adventure pack. If you're a person that avoids the adventure packs or doesn't think you can justify the full price and hasn't caught it on sale, so on and so forth, this is your chance to get him in single pack form. And then of course, if you happen to fall in love with Egg Bomber Airstrike, and you're like, man, I love this guy, I want to get a standard figure, then you can better justify getting the Gryphon Park Observatory. So, sort of a win-win. Really, the adventure packs aren't a terrible deal, given what you get. Creation Crystal location piece in that case, which looks very, very cool, by the way. Again, check the unboxing video on that one. But that's that, man. This is Egg Bomber Airstrike. One of our two Spring Edition Alt-Decos, if you will. The other one, Hard-Boiled Flare Wolf. I gotta say, of these two, I'll wait till we fully unbox him, and I will have a poll up on the Skylander Club forum. I believe I'm going to significantly prefer the colorations as seen here compared to Hard-Boiled Flare Wolf. Which do I prefer, standard? And we'll have these polls as well. Egg Bomber Airstrike versus Standard Airstrike. I have to go this route. I do feel like if this was silver instead of gold, I know some of you are like, oh, didn't see that coming. And I think he might have been able to pull off like a more traditional aviator jacket like Flynn wears, right? Sort of the brown leather with sort of the, you know, more natural colored sheepskin. But this actually doesn't look too bad side by side. The biggest thing for me might actually be the Blue Zephyr Falcon is blue. I love the blue and the silver contrast. One of the greatest color schemes you can go with, in my opinion, as a Cowboys fan anyway. And while this isn't terrible, I mean, that just, if you had to pick Birdie Spring Edition or Birdie Standard Edition, I'm going Birdie Standard Edition. Now, I would still probably personally lean towards Standard Airstrike, but I mean, this isn't terrible. Something else of note, his personal skin tone has gone to like that pale purple under the helmet, whereas here he's kind of got like the Smurf blue coloration going on. So there they are side by side. Again, let me know your thoughts. Do you prefer Egg Bomber Airstrike or Standard Airstrike? And then here in a little bit, when we have Flare Wolf unboxed, we'll hold those two side by side. But there is my thumbnail. That's what we will roll with. Let me know, are you going to pick these up? Do you think it's a good deal? Are you sick of the Alt-Decos? Are you sick of the special editions? Will you be avoiding them at all costs? On the contrary, will this be your first experience with Egg Bomber Airstrike, I should say, because of the Adventure Pack issues? Flare Wolf, he is actually quite difficult to find. He buckshot chain reaction. If you didn't snag them when they were first available, yeah, they're kind of hard to come by at this point in time, at least based on what I've seen locally. So for some of you, he may be a bit easier to ascertain than standard Flare Wolf. Flare Wolf, I stopped with the base upgrades because I was waiting for Hard-Boiled. I absolutely loved his base upgrades. I had so much fun. He's very akin to Trigger Happy, just from a fire element with sort of a bazooka vibe. Very, very cool stuff in my opinion. Can't wait to get both of these guys fully upgraded and maxed out. We will be working towards that. But again, here they are. Let me know your thoughts on them. Wiisdom.com, SkylanderClub.com is a forum. I created it, I run it, I made it for Portal Masters like yourself. Check it out, take advantage of it, sign up if you would like to. Anyone can vote in the polls. If you want to comment on the polls, give your thoughts and synopsis on things, you will need to register. Or, of course, you can vote and then just spill all your thoughts here on YouTube. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Again, $16.99 at Toys R Us, but with a buy one get one 50%. So, haha, we get the last laugh. Nonetheless, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys back here for more Skylanders Imaginators action.